Iran is on the precipice of becoming a superpower. It has missiles that can reach the United States. It now has nuclear technology, and now it's working on putting them together.
What truly makes a nation a superpower? People usually think of nuclear arsenals, unstoppable air forces, or towering aircraft carriers slicing through the oceans. America has all of that, and Iran has none. Yet, what if I told you Iran has just revealed a superpower that not even the United States can claim? Something no other country on Earth possesses. A single, invisible threat powerful enough to shift the balance of global power and turn Iran into an undefeatable superpower. So what is this secret? To uncover it, we need to dive into recent events and into Iran's long-burning ambition to reshape its military, its reach, and its influence into something that sends a chill through US and Israeli officials. Prepare yourself, because what you're about to hear isn't found in headlines, and you won't find this truth anywhere else. But remember, we're still on YouTube, and that means we have limits. If we shared the uncensored truth, this channel wouldn't last a day. So if you want the real story, the raw, unfiltered facts that YouTube won't let us show, head over to our Telegram channel. That's where we cover everything they try to hide. The link's in the description below. I'll see you there. Did you see the destruction of those 12 days in the Iran-Israel war? That's what everyone was talking about. The firestorms, the headlines, the chaos. And sure, hundreds of Iranian missiles breaking through 7 Western defense shields was an astonishing achievement on its own. But the real shock, the part no one mentioned, happened where only a few people were looking and even fewer understood. Israel didn't prepare for this war months in advance. America and Israel prepared for it 40 years in advance. To put things in perspective, Iran has faced 5 times more sanctions than North Korea. In just 8 years, the average Iranian salary collapsed from $1,500 to $250, while the cost of living skyrocketed. For comparison, the US put only 5% of this pressure on Syria, and that entire government collapsed in 3 years. Now imagine Iran enduring 20 times that pressure for 4 decades. But why? Because in the event of war, Iran was supposed to collapse from the inside, its own people rising against the state. When Israel and the entire Western intelligence network, we're talking about the cooperation of over 50 agencies, targeted Iran, the plan was simple. Kill key officials, cripple the infrastructure, then sit back and watch Iran fall apart on its own. They used half this effort to win the Cold War and collapse the Soviet Union. So in their minds, Iran would be easy, but Iran was not the Soviet Union. It wasn't Syria. It wasn't any other country. Iran endured all this pressure for one reason: solidarity with Palestine. Iran could have become the world's 4th largest economy with a higher standard of living than Japan or Germany. But it refused to trade its honor for comfort. Many Persian Gulf states chose comfort. Iran didn't. And that's what America and Israel never understood. Their decapitation strike backfired. Instead of separating the Iranian people from their government and triggering regime change, it united them against Israel and the West. To understand how insane that is, try the same trick on the United States, and the entire system would collapse in 48 hours. Every empire in history has attacked Iran, and yet Iran is still standing. Meanwhile, the United States chose Donald Trump as its brightest mind to lead the nation, a sign that history education may be optional in America. But none of this is the real heart of Iran's transformation. Because Iran has 2 plans, 2 moves that could shift the balance of power not just in the region, but across the entire world. Iran has one of the most capable missile arsenals on Earth. Fast, precise, cheap, and produced at a scale that terrifies its enemies. Iran can manufacture over 300 missiles every month. You know Iranian missiles and drones are effective when even Russia, a nuclear superpower, wants them. But Iran's greatest weakness has always been its air force. Most Iranian fighter jets are relics from the Vietnam War era, the F-4 Phantom, the F-5 Tiger. Even Iran's modern jets, the F-14 Tomcat and the MiG-29, are nearly 5 decades old. To understand how outdated this is, consider your smartphone has 300 times the processing power of an F-14's computer. Now compare that to the Israeli F-35, essentially a flying supercomputer. And yet, something unbelievable happened. Despite their outdated jets, Iranian pilots went head-to-head with the Israeli Air Force and prevented Israel from scoring even a single aerial kill. In fact, an Iranian F-14 reportedly managed to shoot down an Israeli F-16. To disrupt Israel's bombing campaign, Iranian pilots used F-14s and MiG-29s to hard lock onto Israeli jets, forcing them into defensive mode. One of the most significant aerial battles of the decade. Iran's air force was massively outmatched, but its pilots proved they were nothing short of brilliant. And here's where things get interesting. Those same pilots are now in Russia and China, training to operate next-generation fighters, the Su-35 and the J-10C, jets that have repeatedly shown they can outperform their Western rivals. Iran is set to receive 60 Su-35s, 48 J-10Cs, and even AWACS aircraft, a game-changing upgrade that, combined with Russian S-400s and China's HQ-9 systems, could completely overturn the regional air power balance. And Iran isn't stopping. It plans to acquire the Su-57 and to produce both the Su-30 and the Su-75 checkmate domestically. There are even rumors of interest in China's J-35 stealth fighter. This isn't an upgrade, it's a transformation, a blueprint to turn Iran's air force into a monster. Remember how Pakistan's air force defeated India's, the world's 4th largest air force, by relying on quality over quantity? Iran is following the same principle. And Iran and Pakistan now share something else. Both will operate J-10Cs and possibly J-35s. That opens the door for joint training, shared tactics, and even backup airfields and supply lines during wartime. How important is that? Look at what Israel had to do. Its fighter jets fled to Greece and Cyprus to avoid being destroyed on the ground by Iranian missiles. Iran and Pakistan could now create a similar strategic escape route, a hidden layer of defense that Israel cannot strike. But all of this, even 300 brand new fighter jets, isn't the most important part, because Iran is aiming for something far more devastating to Israel than air superiority. Iran is aiming at the heart of the West, its economy. Why do people move to Israel? Because Israelis enjoy a higher quality of life than even Americans. And the irony is that the United States sends hundreds of billions of dollars in aid to Israel to keep that lifestyle alive. If you look at the last decade, the amount of U.S. aid given to Israel could have paid for free healthcare for every American. So when someone in America says Iran is the enemy, it almost sounds laughable. It's simple. No one wants to live somewhere with poor quality of life, and Iran has openly stated it will do whatever it takes to make life in Israel unbearable. First, there's the threat of blowing up the Azerbaijan-Israel gas pipeline. If Iran ever decided to strike it, the economic impact on Israel would be catastrophic. But the real turning point was Iran's capture of a Singaporean cargo ship. Why Singapore? Even though Singapore condemns Israeli actions diplomatically, it still trades with Israel. And Iran made its message crystal clear. Any ship that goes to Israel will be seized in the Persian Gulf. Iran isn't aiming at Israel's military, it's aiming at Israel's money, comfort, and economy. One Iranian general said it bluntly, the best defense is attack. You'd never hear such confidence from the previous generation of commanders, many of whom were assassinated by Israel. Iran has replaced them with officials who are far more aggressive, far more determined, and far more willing to strike back. And now the world is closer than ever to a nightmare scenario, the closing of the Strait of Hormuz, cutting off 25% of the world's energy supply. Gas prices could skyrocket 5-fold overnight. And because every product, from toilet paper to pizza deliveries in America, depends on energy and transport, the shockwave would hit every nation, every home, every wallet. and all the blame would land on those who provoked Iran in the first place. Iran holds powerful cards, and it has declared it's ready to use them if necessary. A country joining BRICS, with the wealth and potential to become the fourth largest economy in the world, armed with a massive missile arsenal and building what may become the region's strongest air force in the coming decade. How long can America and Israel play this cat-and-mouse game? The age of the bullies is ending. 10 years ago, Israel held a far better reputation worldwide, but today the tide has turned. Nations are showing sympathy for Iran, while global sentiment toward Israel hits historic lows. Imperialism is dying. You cannot